So again, welcome to session two of Learning with Champion Series 2025. Brought to you by Google for Education, but conducted by our wonderful champions from across the country. And I have so many pop-ups that are coming on my screen that I'm not even able to move my screen. I am Sonia Mehra Agarwal, and I'm the EDO Impact Lead at Google for Education. Super, super delighted to have all of you here. And before we even begin, wishing you all a very, very happy Teachers' Day. And quickly, let's go and meet our trainers. We've got Sanchita ma'am and Rupali ma'am from Delhi joining us, who are Google champions. They are Google certified trainers. They're also co-leaders and equal part contributors to GEG Delhi NCR, right? And with this, I'm going to hand over the slides and the screen, everything to both of them because I know they have an amazing action-packed day planned. Hour planned for all of us. Over to both of you.
Hi, everyone. Rupali, I don't see you here. Yeah, I'm going to pin you as well. All right. And Sonia asked us a key question. What are we planning for Teachers' Day? I'm looking forward to the chutti we are getting on Teachers' Day. But yeah, lots of programs actually lined up. I'm sure in so many of our schools, this is that one day that we get to celebrate for ourselves and kind of a renewal of our passion to teach, and the fact that a lot of our old students come back to us and wish us. I think that really makes our day, right, Rupali? Day kya, pura year.
Absolutely, Sanchita. Yeah, because of course we are in this field where we all work with our love and passion for this field.
Absolutely.
And I believe as teachers, we all are very proud of the kind of work that we are delivering. And today is one that day when we all are celebrating it. Again through new learnings, again through new sharings with the world. So this kind of achievement is something different for all of us.
Absolutely. I'm of course going to celebrate Chutti. What are you doing on the 5th, Rupali?
Yeah, it's a holiday, but yeah, as you know that we have so many things to do in a day that a
Yeah,
day
a
is
teacher's
very
job is
short.
never done, right?
And that too when first term examinations are going on. So
Exactly. I think most of the schools are
lots of
in,
corrections. Yeah.
yeah, the schools are, most schools I think across the country are, they've either started with their term one exams, or they've just wound up, or they are gearing towards that exam. And yeah, this is, in terms of when we look at the work pressure through the school year, these are some of the toughest weeks that we spend. So yeah, Google Sheets hopefully shall become your friend in this process, and hopefully by the end of this session, when we are done sharing with what we have planned for all of you, hopefully more of you will be friends with Google Sheets. I mean, my own journey with Google Sheets is a very mixed one. I was super scared of Sheets, and I always felt this is not for me. I don't have a mathematical or a numerical bent of mind. And what is a history teacher going to do with, a spreadsheet? But
So
Rupali's year has converted me.
why don't you introduce I think all the new audiences with GG Delhi NCR before we begin the
Yeah,
session?
right. So in fact, you've got the screen right here, and I'm going to just pop in the link to join us. And GG or Google Educator groups are groups of educators really who come in together on a voluntary basis to share what we are learning, and various pedagogical methods. We share new technologies that are coming up in the education sector. We share those. We share our joys and sorrows. Sometimes we use this opportunity to just vent of how tough or how great my life is as a teacher. So it's just not about the professional part, but also supporting each other as part of a community. So we've been around now for what, 5 years? Nearly 5 years. Our 5th birthday is coming up. So don't be afraid, and go and click on that link that I've just popped in the chat. I'm going to do that again, so in case anyone's missed it. And you can connect with us on our social media platforms. through our link tree. So we are present on Facebook, we are present on Instagram, on X. LinkedIn is, do we have an account on LinkedIn? No, not yet. But some of us are on LinkedIn. Do reach out on WhatsApp, of course. I think that is the key way in which we keep in touch, even if we are not going on to social media too often. And we do bring in the team, of course, is not just Rupali and I. We have Sangeeta Gulati ma'am. I think nobody here needs to be introduced to Sangeeta ma'am. She is the person in the Google for Education system in India itself. I think everybody knows her, and I can see with all the hearts that are coming up that, yeah, Sangeeta ma'am is our celebrity here. So she is our leader, and Rupali, myself, and Vibha. I'm not sure if Vibha is in the meet today. Vibha, the three of us are co-leads, and we try as often as we can to bring in some new learning and some new experiences for people within our community. And we try to invite as many people as we can from India, from the rest of the world, to come and share their experiences and their learnings as educators or those who support education in that field. So yeah, that's about GG Delhi NCR. And you don't have to be living in GG Delhi NCR to be part of this community. You can join us from anywhere in the world. Right. Don't worry about the QR code. I'm just going to pop in the link again in the chat. You can use that link to touch base with us. The QR code might be sometimes giving trouble. So, yeah.
Okay, so we have with us great storyteller, Miss, who other than, I mean, Miss Sanchita Ghosh.
Yeah.
So we are here to actually listen to that story. So all of us should be excited to know that story as to actually how we can weave around the story to learn so many tools about Google Sheets. So how to get the most out of Google Sheets.
Okay, WhatsApp link is not working. We'll just check in the backend and we'll get back with a fresh link. If that is an issue, we'll do that again. Don't worry, we are here for the next 1 hour together, so we'll get that going. Right. So, how to get the most out of Google Sheets? So, if you see this lady on the left, that used to be me some years ago, and I was always very worried about Google Sheets. And when I gave my first trainer exam, I was sure I was going to fail because I didn't know. I thought I didn't know Google Sheets at all. But you'd be surprised, if I can love Google Sheets, anyone else can love Google Sheets. So we have a staff room scene going on here, and we've got teachers who are really worried and they're nervously tapping their pens and saying, okay, Google Sheets, I hear it's all numbers and formula. My brain just isn't wired for that. That used to be me a few years ago. So Mr. Khan here, he is also quite worried and he's not entirely sure he likes Google Sheets either. He says, I have trouble, even balancing my my checkbook, let alone a spreadsheet. What am I going to do with that? So the idea of learning about Google Sheets can often throw a lot of people off kilter and say, okay, what am I going to do with that? I mean, I'm a language teacher. What am I going to do with Google Sheets, right? So that's always, a daunting thought for so many of us who are not born to naturally love numbers, right? So just then the door opens and there's a bit of a creak in the staff room door. And we have Rupali leading the brigade and making you fall in love with Google Sheets.
I think people can guess who's Rupali and who's Sanchita.
Yeah, we tried very hard. I mean, Gemini wasn't really cooperating. I wanted the lady in pink to have salt and pepper hair, but that wasn't happening. So now you can see me on screens with salt and pepper hair. Yeah. So, all right. So let's take it ahead, Rupali.
Okay, so I think Sanchita, you might be picturing endless rows of numbers, complicated formulas, and a headache in the making.
Absolutely.
But what if I told you that Google Sheets can be a magical canvas for stories, a helpful assistant for your everyday teaching, and even a way to bring your classroom to life? Would you believe that?
I wouldn't actually. A few years ago, I wouldn't, but today, yes.
So let's hear some of your current challenges.
All right, so here we have one of our dearest friends. She's here in a meet. So if you've identified yourself, just raise your hand so that the rest can know as well. And our journey really does start with you right here. So Saudamini ma'am is our beloved part of our faculty, and very, very enterprising and always raring to learn new things. So her challenge was a unique one, and she collects a lot of data as part of her work in Sanskriti, and not just academic data. She at least last year she was leading the SARS team. SARS is a social consciousness program where we have children come in and volunteer their services in various social undertakings that are present in the school. So Saudamini has been collecting some data, and she needs your help. So all of us, all 200 plus of us, are going to try and help her here. Okay, now my screen has frozen. So I'm going to pop in a link in the chat, and we want all of you to just fill in some fictitious data quickly. I hope this works. Yeah. Is the link up?
And the
Just
form
click on
looks
this,
like
and
this.
this is what the form is going to look like. Just a few questions. I just put in some data, and then we will play with the data that Saudamini ma'am had to contend with last year. And now she is semi-whiz as well with all of this. So just go in, fill in, just random, just put in whatever name. You don't want to put your own name, that's fine. You pretend that you're a student of grade 11 or 12, and what did we say? Grades were 9th and 10th, or was it?
9th and 11th, 12th.
9th and 11th, 12th.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
just choose.
Like,
Awesome.
the sheet is flooding.
Yeah. See, this is what community is, right? So see, Soda ma'am, so many people out here giving you lots of data to play with.
So students listen at that pace to you, Saudamini ma'am, to fill the data. Oh, great, great, great. I think it's a very enthusiastic audience here.
Awesome. So I'm now going to be Saudamini ma'am, and I'm going to say, Rupali, just look at this sheet. What am I going to do with this now? Should I make another form and collect information separately? Because if I say, oh, which activity would you like to volunteer? I have children choosing multiple activities also. So now how do I separate this? I'm going to tear my hair out in
Oh my God.
craziness.
Look
Rupali,
at this
please help.
data that Saudamini ma'am you have given me, and now you want me to kind of clean up this entire data.
Yes,
Because,
please. Yes.
step one for any data collection is that I'm going to be organizing it in a beautiful manner, because data cannot just be handled in such an untidy manner. We need to know somehow we are filling it up, some kind of options here, either 1 or 2 or 3, or maximum options that I can see here are 5. And one way to actually organize my data is to actually see how many class sections I have this data from 9, then ABCD, 10, ABCD, 11, ABCD. My goodness, if I have to analyze this data, it's going to be really, really tough. So step one actually should be that I should sort this data. So what we're going to be learning here, Sonamini ma'am, is that let's learn how to sort this entire sheet class-wise, section-wise, and that is one basic query that every educator has. So for that, what we have to do is we have to select the entire data. Now, if anybody knows how to select the entire data, you can type it in the chat. Otherwise, with my speed, you have to match up. So on this particular sheet, you can see the first row labeled as 1 and the first column labeled as A. And we can easily see over here on the top left, 1 and A, there is one particular area which is blank above A, above 1 and to the left of E. So what you need to do is we just need to select that. Just click that blank space and your entire data will be selected. And another way of selecting the entire data is Control A or Command A, whichever laptop you're working on. And that's entirely your choice how you can select the entire data. So once we select the entire data, we go to data. Now, when I go to data, there is an option of sort range. and when I go to sort range, there is a right hand side arrow over there, and then there are three options given over here. What I'm going to be selecting out of these three would be advanced range sorting options. So when I click on advanced range sorting options, I get sort range from A1 to K236. That means these many rows have been filled, I think, within a minute in this session. And now if I see data has header row, I need to put a tick mark on that. So select data has header row, and then how I want to sort. So I have to decide in my head, I have to sort. I click on this drop down, data has a header row. I click on drop down and I go to class. So I have to select class first. I have to see it should be as per class 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I also want to select sections after class. So if I have to sort by class and then add another sort column, I click on add another sort column and I click on automatically it's the next column. So section is come here. So first the data will be sorted by class and then it will be sorted by section. And in ascending order, so A to Z is going to be by default ticked here. That's it. I click on sort and my entire data will be beautifully sorted. Look at that. 9A, then 9B, then 9C, then 10A, and so on. So just by few clicks of knowing how to do advanced sorting, I can easily sort my entire data class-wise and then section-wise. Also, I need to see that in my class 9A, if you observe, just observe 9A. In this 9A data set, the entire 9A data set that I have, so many have filled 9A. Okay, this entire 9A that I see, all the students over here are not sorted in alphabetical order. So what I can do that, again, I go and select the entire data. I go to data, I go to sort range, click on advanced range sorting options, and then click on data has header row. So it's a quick revision for everyone. Sort by, there is a drop down. Click on the drop down. I click on class, add another sort column. I click on section, add another sort column, and then I click on full name. That means first it should be class 9, then A, and then all the names to be in alphabetical order. And then I click on sort, and here it is. My entire data is even more cleaner and neater to handle. Class 9A and all alphabetical order, Abhijit, Anchal, Anita, Babita, and so on. So that's how beautifully we sort the entire sheet. And I hope, Saudamni ma'am, your one way of cleaning the data problem is sorted.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, this makes it so much easier to read all of this. Otherwise, I was like, how am I going to look at, okay, all of the 9A kids together and then all of the 9B and C kids together? This is like
Lovely,
godsend. And
lovely.
Saudamni ma'am agrees in the chat.
So now we move ahead. And now I believe the next thing that comes up in this sheet, how to clean up this entire sheet, I think that's how everyone should do. If I see this entire sheet, there are going to be so many columns here, up till 140 columns here, rows here. And over here on the right hand side, if I see, there are so many columns there. But what I need to now know is that if I have a Google form where there is a particular question in the format of check boxes, the answer responses not just come in different cells, but they all come like this: junior teach, comma, Saturday open house volunteer work, comma, annual day volunteer work. So all of these have come up in only one cell. So if I want to visualize that in different cells and then organize this entire data for one particular activity and know how many children and who all are the children who have applied or volunteered for junior teach, then I need to first clean up my data. And in order
And
to clean
also,
up my data,
yeah, Rupali, and also this would be helpful. Let's say a child has opted for 3 activities. So, and I want to check off that the student has already participated in junior teach, and now only senior teach and sports are left for this child. So, if we are going to separate these into separate columns, as Rupali ma'am is now going to show, it's going to become very easy for Saudamini ma'am to make sure that she's able to mark off that this activity is done for that student, or that this activity is probably still pending. So like as a lot of you have opted for multiple activities, right? So that
Correct.
becomes very easy for the teachers as well, especially when you're dealing with data like that.
Yeah. So what first thing that you have to ensure is that in this column E, if you want to now put all this data in separate columns to the right of it, ensure that the right hand side columns are all available. They should be free. In case you have some 10 columns filled up and you are splitting one column which is in the middle, then ensure that you have as many columns blank on the right hand side where this data will be split. So based on that, now this particular form responses don't have any information on the right hand side, so we don't need to do that, but ensure that before splitting, otherwise your data on the right hand side will disappear.
Yeah,
And
for example, Rupali ma'am, you could show this demo by splitting the name column if you wish. That would make it
of
perhaps
course,
clearer
of
for the
course, of
teachers. Yeah.
course. So let's see the name column over here, column B. If I don't add a blank space on the right of it, and if I give a command to split, say Nisha, Christopher, if I want to split Nisha and then Christopher in the next column, and if I don't leave any blank on the right hand side, then this entire column C will disappear because entire split will use up column C and column C data will then disappear. So step one always is to first leave a blank column on the right and then act upon the split. So I will show you quickly how we're going to do that. So let's select the column where I have to split. After that, you go to data. And there is an option over here for split text to columns. So when I click on split text to columns, then automatically my data will ask what is the separator in the form responses. The separator in the form responses, is it a comma, is it a semicolon, is it a full stop, or is it a space? So clearly in my responses, the separator is comma. So I'm going to be selecting on comma. And then here we go. Entire data got split. And we can beautifully see that all the data which was in just one cell with commas now have been put easily on the right hand side. So wherever you see 3 responses or 4 responses, all those 4 responses have gone in different columns. If you have only one response, then it will show only one. If there are 2 responses, then it will go in separate columns. So this is how you can do split to text in different kinds of data sheets and make your entire data sheet more cleaner and very, very, I would say, neater to start working with.
Rupali, there are 3 or 4 people who want you to repeat this step once more. So can you just
Okay,
do
so
it in the
let's
full
repeat
name
this
wala?
step for full name.
Yeah.
So if you observe full name column, I can see Abhijit Kaur Khalsa. So there are 3, I think, over there, which I would need. So I need to split it into 3 columns. So what I need to do is right click on column, just select column B and right click on it and insert one column to the right and repeat the step. Another pro tip for Google Sheets, if you want to repeat the previous step on your laptop, just say Control Y. And then the next step would automatically come up because your previous step is repeated. So a pro tip, Control Y. Control Y is to repeat the previous command that you have given to Google Sheets. So, and this does not apply only on Google Sheets. So many things apply on all Google apps. So here, if I have to split Abhijit Kaur Khalsa in 3 columns, what I'm going to be doing is select column B, go to data, click on split text to columns. It will ask a separator, click, and over here the separator is a space, not a comma. So I'm going to be clicking on space. And here it is. The result is in front of you. We have Abhijit in one cell, Kaur in another, Khalsa in another. And your data is intact. We can easily see your entire split has happened beautifully. So this is how your data is going to be done, and I'm going to be bringing it back because I don't want to split it. And this is the neater sheet that I can see to work with. So that is one way in which we can clean the data. Another pro tip, I think a pro tip which I would like to give all over here: keep your data set very compact. Don't have endless rows and endless columns over there, because that just confuses the entire view which you have. So one pro tip again: your data is actually ending till column H here. So from column I up till the last, all these columns are unnecessary for me. So with few, I think an important pro tip, we can easily just delete all of them in one go. So how we're going to be doing that? Let's start with column I. Just select column I and then click on Control, Shift and right arrow. I repeat, select the column, click on the keyboard, Control, Shift and right arrow. Automatically the entire sheet on the right hand side will be selected, and right click on it and just say delete columns I to K. So all of these columns which are unnecessary for me beyond column H will not be seen on my data sheet. Similarly, if I see all the rows below this, say after 141, even if I leave some for the new responses, if I start from say 150 row, 151 row, I repeat the pro tip. First, select the row, click on Control, Shift, and now how many rows I have to delete? All the rows below 151. So click on down arrow along with it. I repeat, select the row, click on Control, Shift, and down arrow. All the rows will be selected which are below this, and right click on it and delete all the rows 151 to 241 in this sheet at the moment. Delete them all together. See how beautifully the data sheet is looking to me. So if you have compact data to handle, it's easier to analyze, and all unnecessary rows below and all unnecessary columns to the right are all deleted with one pro command. So that's how we can neat our data. And one thing that I can, as a quick revision, we have learned sorting, we have learned splitting, and we have learned removing unnecessary rows and columns in the data sheet. And yes, one very essential thing we need to know is if we have to remove all the duplicates, then that also can be done beautifully with just a small command. I think some or the other data will be repeated in this sheet. So again, I select the entire data sheet and then I go to data and look at this powerful magical tool which Google Sheet has given us. It is called data cleanup. And power of AI is always there, and data cleanup is giving me cleanup suggestions. So if I have to remove duplicates, I can just click on remove duplicates. If I have to remove any unnecessary white spaces in the data set, I can remove them. But if I don't know whether we even have this problem in my data sheet or not, I can always rely on AI and say, give me cleanup suggestions. So just click on cleanup suggestions and look at the power. On the right hand side, I can see AI is telling me you can please clean up your data by duplicating these two rows, 24 and 25. And it is also telling me don't have to even go to that row. You just need to hit remove and your duplicate data will be removed. So if I click on remove, automatically that data will be removed. Another suggestion that Google is giving me is trim the white spaces, all the white spaces which are unnecessary in my data set. So I will just say trim all, just remove those unnecessary white spaces, trim all. And the AI is telling me done with cleanup. So this is something which is beautiful. Within few clicks, I have my neat and tidy sheet on which I'm ready to start analyzing. And this is how I can beautifully start working on my clean sheet.
Wow, that was wonderful. And especially when you talk about cleaning up the sheet, it's so important because visual is really, really important. If you are not looking at clear material, then the brain doesn't work either, right? When there's too much chaos, yeah, then work becomes that much more difficult. So this was such nifty tips and tricks that Rupali you showed us, and so many of these, thumbs ups and hearts and I know the claps that are coming up that shows that so many of our participants today have found a lot of value in this particular model. But there's more. There's more to come because we now want to talk about one of our really dynamic community members from the Champions community itself. The moment Sonia had sent out the invites, we had Dr. Amit Bajaj. There's so much to learn from him, and he sent us, some queries as to and a request to cover some of the things that he uses on a daily basis. So he's the examination in charge in his school, and he has to deal with a lot of, big data sets with student results. So he needs to manage, all of the results for a big chunk of the school. He has to analyze the performance trends of the students, identify high achievers, more challenging material can be given to them, identifying children who are struggling perhaps and therefore need more scaffolding. And what about revaluation? Often there are revaluations which, of course, help the educator to take a step back and see, okay, where did our errors in evaluation occur? So can we plug those holes? So that can only happen if we can identify the quantum of the errors made, and therefore corrective action to be taken later on by the teams that are doing evaluation work. So Amit sir, this goes out for you, and thank you so much for providing us the opportunity to look for solutions for the problem that you are facing on a daily basis. So let's take this away.
Yeah, so Amit sir, I think Google Sheets is your examination assistant now. So we can actually set up so many automated calculations.
Yeah, but Rupali, before we go ahead, because a lot of people are commenting on the fact that Amit sir does not have a mustache. I tried, sir. I tried very hard, and every time I would give some mustache type command, या तो हाथ गायब हो जा रहा था, or you lost all your the hair on your head. So we didn't want that to happen. So we said, okay, mustache is a very small compromise to make. It's a small compromise to keep all your limbs, intact, and all your, nice hair intact as well. We didn't want to lose.
So this was the best that Gemini could arrange for us.
Nee, sir, you are smart. It's not just AI. You are an extremely smart man, and a smart man up here as well. I mean, every time I speak to you, I always learn something new.
Yes. And yes, as Google Sheet as an examination assistant, I think through this we can set up automated calculations. We can actually do a lot of conditional formatting to highlight specific scores, because in our classroom we have some students who are below the minimum percentage to pass, and there are some students who are the highlights of the class, so who are above 90 percenters. So we need to acknowledge them as well, and Google Sheets can actually help that, and Google Sheets can actually help us ease out this entire trauma or terror of data analysis and data visualization. And as AI has given us this beautiful picture where we have Amit sir with mustaches. Similarly, we have AI coming up who will actually help us answer all the queries that Amit sir has asked. So let's show up the sheet. Thanks to Amit sir who has shared this particular sheet with us. This is a copy of class 9 marks entry, and this data that I can see over here is all about some students from class 9A who have marks in maths, language, English, science, social science,
Yeah,
and
Alok sir, can we? Okay. Fine, please go ahead, Rupali.
Yeah, and then I can see that in for class 9B, 9C, 9D, there's so many tabs over there section wise, which is already done by Amit sir. And one of the ways in which we can actually put the entire data section wise in different tabs can also be handled beautifully by a formula. But here at the moment, if I have to answer all the queries of Amit sir, then one of the ways in which we can analyze this particular data is to start working upon thinking as to, should we start working on converting this into a beautiful table, because this is a very basic table which is provided to us. It's like a normal data entry that we do on a daily basis, or maybe something which is unique that you can see in this data set. This green bar that you see, this it says table 1. There is a table menu over here. If I click on revert to unformatted data, then the data, simple data, would look like this. But if I want to convert it into a table, then I have to just select the entire data set, and then I can easily convert it into a table by clicking on format. So learn the file menu over there where I'm moving my cursor. I have to select the entire data and click on format. And under that, I click on convert to table. So there is a shortcut as well, Control Alt and T, but just click on convert to table, and this beautiful green table that you can see will come up. And now this table is not just simple table. This table has a lot of magic and a lot of power hidden behind this. So you can easily see that table 1 over here has a menu. So we can rename the table. We can adjust the table range. We can color change as well of this entire table. I can change the table header color. I can, do things which are beyond my imagination through this table, because on the right of it, if you see, there is one option of views. So I can go to views also and create group by view, how I want to view by any particular subject. I can create filters as well based on the data which is given to me. So that is how we can easily convert it into a table view. And yes, of course, on the right of this view, I also have another powerful thing that is obviously AI has given us, which is Gemini. And Gemini will help me analyze this data as well. So if I say, okay, I have the data ready with me, and if I just give that command to Gemini, okay, analyze this data, what will Gemini do based on that? Let's see the magic. So Sanchita, should I quickly show this magic?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Always ready for some magic.
Yeah, so let's click analyze this data. And Gemini will come up. And of course, this particular feature that you're seeing is not visible in your personal account or in your EDO accounts. This particular feature is a paid feature. So it is something which is magical, and analysis can be done just by, you know, a click of this powerful analyze this data button. So if I see key takeaways, overall performance of all the subjects, if I say average, overall average marks of all subjects, I think wouldn't be of any concern to us. But yes, subject-wise averages are something that we all would like to know. So maths has 62.8 average. So Amit sir. So no need of any formulas, no need of any fancy calculations. AI will give you the averages in one click for all the subjects in your data set. These are your top 5 students who have performed excellent. Again, power of AI. So would you like to copy this and keep it with you? That is up to you. But this is a quick analysis of the data. But yes, the power doesn't end here. We can actually go ahead and ask anything by entering a prompt here. Okay, Sanchita, what prompt would you like to give?
So I would like to know that who are the students in my class who need additional support, who are struggling in, let's say, social science. Is there anyone struggling in social science, for example?
Okay, so if I say highlight the students who are or who have scored less than, what would be the passing for social science out of 80?
Out of 80 would be 27.
27. Who have scored less than 27 marks or 27 in,
Social
so
science.
you want social science, so social science. Total marks. Okay. Highlight that. Amazing. So no need to learn conditional formatting. Your AI has done conditional formatting for you by saying that conditional formatting will be applied to the cells in N3 to N46. The rule will be if a cell value is less than 27. And you just click on apply and the magic of Gemini will come up. And in your social science total marks, do we see anybody who has scored less than, oh, it's a bright class. All the students have scored very well
Or
in
maybe
social
we can look
science.
at, let's say, anyone scoring less than a
I think
40%.
kids are scared of maths.
Subject or a science, perhaps.
Okay, so now the same thing that Gemini did it for us within, just by sending a command, I can do that. Conditional formatting. So I will quickly show you how to do conditional formatting on the data set without Gemini. So click on your column. So this is your data set. So this is your entire data for marks obtained in maths. Then if I click on control, I can select the marks obtained in Hindi. Then I go to marks obtained in English.
And keep control pressed down, huh? Don't let go
Yes.
of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have to select multiple columns which are not together but they are at different intervals, you just need to click control. Then you have to go to science. Then we move ahead. We click on total of social science. That's it, because your IT is out of 100, so I'm not going to touch that. But all the marks which are having the total 80, I want to now color those marks, or those students I want to highlight, those who have scored marks less than 27. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll go to format, because it's conditional formatting. So the file menu that I'll be using is format. Under that, I go to conditional formatting. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to be clicking on, suppose I delete the previous one, but yeah, add another rule. And selection would be applied to range based on what I've already selected. After that, it says format rules, format cells if. Now, what is the rule? The rule is that your data should be less than what value? 33% of your entire 80. That comes out to be, as per
27.
Sanchita, 27. And then I say, okay, now these are the ones who have flunked. So I should color that as red. So I color that as red, and I just need to click done. And let's see. Now, manually, by doing conditional formatting in the data, do we locate students? Oh, Haryan is that person who has flunked in this data set. I hope these names are all hypothetical.
Hypothetical
Amit.
data.
Yeah. So yeah, these are all the values that are highlighted by Google using conditional formatting. So just to repeat this for our audience, we're going to be quickly showing the same steps, but for high achievers of my class, which are above 90%. So let's go. Step 1, select the entire data. Is that the step? No, I have to select only those columns which is having the marks. Because if I select the entire data, it will also have name, subject name, and all that. I'm not going to be applying conditional formatting on that. So how I will be applying the conditional formatting? I select only the marks column. So I click on column D, I click on control on the keyboard, then I click on column F, column H, column J, I move to the right, keep pressing control, click on column N, that's it. After selecting the data, go to format, go to conditional formatting, go add another rule, Data is already selected.
Okay,
Format,
Rupali, now let's test everybody. We want people who've scored more than 90%, right?
yeah.
So, right. So now we want the audience to tell us what is 90% of 72.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, 90% of 80.
It's 80, yeah. In a way, you've given away the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. 90% of 80. Okay, let's see who gets the answers first.
Greater
Yeah,
than
see,
or
they,
equal
they know how to pick
to,
up a hint. Yeah, all of
yeah,
these people know how to
72.
pick up a
That's the
hint.
right
Yeah, good
answer.
one. Yes.
And now I'm going to be, because these are high achievers of my class, so
Okay.
my
Yeah.
data set should fill green color. So if
Greater than or yeah, equal to
yeah,
or greater than
I click
72.
green, or if I want to acknowledge, or maybe darker green, and then I say done and close this. Now let's see my data. Here it is. My entire data has Amrit Raj, Ananya Vashisht, all these students. Oh, Garvit has got really above 90% in so many subjects. Likewise, I have high achievers in my class, so who have, I can easily pinpoint so quickly in my entire data set. So either I ask Gemini, or I ask myself for applying the rule. I can
Yes. So if you're using
easily do
Gemini
that.
within the sheet, then I think it's on one of the paid platforms. But otherwise, manually, you can do it even on your consumer account very easily, right? So it's always good to know the manual methods as well. AI is of course there to support us, but it's always good to know the manual method as well. Maths, there used to be something called a ratio, proportion, and a unitary method, if I'm not mistaken. And my father always insisted कि नहीं unitary method भी आना चाहिए. सिर्फ रेशियो प्रोपोर्शन तो शॉर्टकट है. So yeah, thinking back on this would be at least what 40 years ago when I was doing ratio proportion and unitary method in mathematics. So yeah, so we should know the
So I
unitary
have
method.
learned, actually, I have learned conditional formatting, and I have also got a, kind of way, a trick or a smarter way or a clever way of asking Gemini, you do this job for me. I can do that as well. Similarly, I can calculate sum, I can calculate the total, I can calculate averages. So let's quickly see how I can do that to analyze my result. So over here, yeah, I can just write total. So total of IT only. I think I need a total of IT here. Total of IT is not done. 50 theory and 50 practical. I can do that. So how I have to do that? You just need to write equal to. You select. You can just do equal to. What is the formula for sum? That everybody knows. It is sum only. So just write SUM and start the bracket and select the data which all you have to sum it up and press enter. Automatically you will get the sum, and you don't have to do that for every row. You just need to see there is a plus sign that I see on the bottom right of the cell. I just need to click on that and drag it till the end. So, and that way I can just quickly get this sum for the entire column. So I think that's a quick tip on how to calculate sum and dragging it for all the rows. Similarly, I can calculate average. Again, it's very simple. I can calculate average of all the totals. So what I can do is I will just write equal to, I will write average. I start with your bracket starts. Now, what all things I need to take the average of? So first is this. Let's go on from the beginning. First, I need maths marks. Then I need, so press control. Then I need Hindi. Then I need English. Then I need science. Then I need the social science total. All this is done, and now
And then
hit
the IT total.
enter. You can easily get the average over there. So this again, 49 is the average of the first child. I can go on to this plus sign which is there on the bottom right of the cell, and then I just need to drag it. Sometimes there is a AI message also that do you want to autofill? We can autofill also. So likewise, we can get the averages as well. So sum, average, all this is calculated on this. And then I can quickly ask Gemini also, Gemini, Can you tell me quickly visualize this sheet? Not just analyze. Now I want you to visualize this sheet. So I don't want to get into what diagram, what all to draw, what chart, what, I'm an economics teacher. Yes, I can teach how to draw charts on this data set. But why not just take help from Gemini, and then based on this data, sometimes we don't even know what kind of chart is applicable to this data. So let's see what Gemini has told me. Oh, wow. Distribution of overall average marks. Amazing. This is one data set. Oh my God, this is amazing. Average marks in different subjects is beautifully depicted through this bar chart for all the subjects. Oh wow, this is maths marks versus science marks. Oh, comparison as well is there. Oh,
And the
so
fun part is every time Rupali and I have played with this, no, we always get a new way of looking at the data again. Right? Hai na, Rupali?
wow, I mean, this is amazing. And look at that. If there is a chart, and as a layman, I don't know what is a scatter chart, then Gemini is telling me the meaning of this chart. Like this scatter plot visualizes a relation between maths and science marks, and there appears to be a positive correlation, indicating that the students who perform well in maths tend to also perform well in science and vice versa. Amazing. This is a great magic that Gemini has done for us, because as a layman, I might just restrict myself to just maybe creating a bar chart, maximum a pie chart.
Right.
But here it's gone to another level because it's advanced use of Google Sheets. I think this example is the best for this session, where we get a scatter plot comparing two subjects and establishing a positive correlation between the marks of both the subjects. Awesome.
Absolutely. And then you can insert these charts into your sheet as well. So they won't
Yes.
disappear anywhere. You've got this
There
little
is an
insert
option to
button. Yeah.
insert as well. You can preview first and then insert, and then you can use it wherever you wish. And you can use this, I think, to impress your higher authorities. You can use this analysis.
Amit sir, you are all set.
So,
Yeah, Amit sir is asking this question that, where is it? Can we compare the performance of all sections of class 9? And yeah, you can ask Gemini to, crunch the numbers for you.
based on all
Yeah.
sections, first and foremost, like what is Gemini doing is analyzing one tab.
Yeah.
So if you have all the section data on one tab, because like for instance, when the way we collected Sodamini ma'am's data, it was from 9 to 12, all the sections A, B, C, D. So based on that, if I ask Gemini to analyze that data, then it will automatically give me a lot of analysis for section-wise comparison as well.
Yeah. And what if Rupali, I was just thinking, let's say this is a mark sheet which I'm sure different subject teachers came in and filled. Now my worry is somebody by mistake, of course nobody does these things purposely, but by mistake, I've hovered my cursor and I've happened to select the Hindi, one of the Hindi grades, and
Mhm.
kuch aur daba diya, the cell kind of just becomes blank. So I don't want to lose my marks from the student. So
Mhm.
can I prevent that from happening? That I don't want the a social science teacher to by mistake impact some other set of marks. Can I do that in a Google
If
sheet as
you
well?
ask a question and Google Sheet doesn't have an answer, how can it be? So based on that, we have a particular option here in data menu. It says protect sheets and ranges. So what we can do is, say for instance, as a teacher who has this layout and you're asking all the subject teachers to come and fill this data sheet, and you don't want to trouble other teachers, by mistake there should not be any error. Based on that, I can just give rights of this column D to maths teacher. I can give rights of editing of column F to Hindi teacher, and no other person can actually touch that particular data. So let's see how to do that. Just select column D, go to data, and click on protect sheets and ranges. And based on that, This is automatically selected, the range that you have selected, maths marks. There is an option here which says set permissions. Click on set permissions and it says restrict who can edit this range. So only me and the spreadsheet owner. At the moment, the spreadsheet owner is Amit sir only. Or I can go for custom. So instead of me and Amit sir, choose who can edit. So add the editor name. So I can just write Sanchita and we can easily make Sanchita the editor of this particular column. Done. So only Sanchita, the owner of the sheet, can work on it.
Yeah, so that's very helpful. So I only get to edit my column and no one else's. Similarly, we can also protect these various other tabs at the bottom. So let's say,
Yes.
the class rep has shared it with all her class teachers and doesn't want the 9A teacher to be able to edit any other sheet. We can similarly go into sheet and again put in our conditions here so that
Same
no one
thing.
else
Just
can
right
edit the work.
Yeah, just right click on the tab and the same protected sheets and ranges will appear there as well. Isn't it magical?
Yeah, I can see a lot of thumbs up and claps coming up. So yeah, that's cool.
Okay, and what about your revaluation data? I think that query is
Yes,
still unresolved.
that query is still unresolved. That's right.
Okay, I think this everybody will really, really relate with. This is one data which, as an examination in charge, again, I have to really analyze it beautifully and with a lot of responsibility, because once we go take the exam, there is a possibility that there are revised marks also after revaluation. And we are here to analyze as to should we work on this revaluation of data in a more meaningful manner or not. I think the problem statement over here is that if I've asked my children, fill the form, write your class section name and your subject, enter your old marks and your new marks, that's it. This data sheet was collected based on simple questions: name of the student, class section, subject, old marks, and new marks. Now, one column that I have added here is that of increase in marks. But how do I analyze this data? How do I meaningfully understand this particular data? So based on that, I'm going to be using the magical power of table. How?
And
Look
this
at
is my
this.
favorite actually.
Yeah, this is views. Okay, I'm going to be using views over here. It says create group by view, though I've already created it by subject. But if I do that, create group by view and select subject, how will I visualize this entire data is extremely magical. Let's see. Since I've already done it, so that view is saved over here. So I'm going to click my saved view of group by subject. And look at this. For subject accounts, there is one child who has reported the change. For the subject biology, 2 children have reported the change. Business studies 4, chemistry 3, likewise computer science 2, economics 18. So many students have got their marks increased after revaluation. English, 40 students have increased their marks. Oh
And
my
look at the
God.
sum of marks, the total increase in the number of marks, right?
Look at the increase in marks. Over here, the sum is also shown. Total 11. Over here, sum 33. And so on. I mean, this is something which everyone should know, that in a particular subject, how many marks have increased after the revaluation process. And if I ask Gemini to summarize this table and tell me which subject has got the highest marks and which subject has got the least increase in marks after the revaluation, all that can be done in a very smart manner. So we can easily see, sort the table by increase in marks, create a formula that calculates the average of the new marks, create the column chart of increase in marks by the name of student and all that. So one of the chart that we really liked after asking Gemini was this. Look at this AI generated graph, and this is based on all the subjects as to what is the average increase in marks by subject, which is again very meaningful and very important, and something that we can do after we just get the revaluation result. So this is one way of analyzing the result, and I hope, Amit sir, you're as an examination in charge, this entire examination assistant in terms of Google Sheets and Gemini would have really helped you a lot.
Yeah, wonderful, and thank you so much, Amit sir, for providing us with the opportunity to actually talk about all of these problems. Because even if I'm not an examination in charge, I'd like to see just my own classes performance and try to look at it in a more visual manner, to see, okay, this subject is a strong suit in my class, or this is a subject where perhaps the students need a little more support. So this becomes very valuable even at the level of the class teacher, or maybe even as a subject teacher. Um, but Anshu had another very nice problem. Anshu is a real life teacher. She's not imaginary. Anshu ma'am, if you're here, please raise your hand so we can see you. Um, so she also presented us with a question on she's looked at each type of question that she gives in her question paper. So whether it's a knowledge based question, an application based question, or an understanding based questions, and she's then gone in to look at how have this each student in her class scored individually under these heads, right? So we of course cleaned up the data as it first came to us, and then we asked Gemini to recommend what kind of help or what are the strengths of these students, and which are the areas that we can give these children some specific help. So that was really, really powerful in that sense. So would you like to just demonstrate that quickly, Rupali?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I would like to really thank Anshu ma'am for contacting us and giving us this beautiful idea of actually not just doing a normal correction of paper and jotting down the marks obtained, but also doing an in-depth analysis of the problem areas of the class. Because if I have made the question paper, I would have thought a certain percentage of knowledge based question, a basic understanding question, application based question, higher order thinking questions. So based on that, after getting the scores, knowing the nuances, I mean, there's such a great analysis of someone taking that effort, and especially taking this effort to ask Google Sheets to give that kind of analysis is amazing. I mean, I have learned a lot from your data, Anshu ma'am, because we generally just correct and then move ahead. But it is very important to know whether the class is lacking in basic knowledge based, basic understanding questions, or is the class lacking in higher order thinking questions. So based on error analysis, based on the question typologies, is I think understanding the data to another level. So thank you so much for giving this particular data, and it's real data. That's amazing. And first she had only data for 4 students, and then she made that effort quickly to give me data for at least 10 students so that I can show some analysis in this session. So let's see. Looking at this data set, ask Gemini how to summarize this table. Click on summarize this table, and first Gemini will tell me what is this data about. Okay, analyze the students who have more marks, more marks in knowledge based questions or analysis based questions. within few seconds. I mean, Gemini gives you that powerful analysis, and Gemini will tell us as to whether the class was lacking in knowledge based or higher order.
Yeah, Rupali, I've also shared a document with you right now from
Okay.
what we had, what Gemini told us from yesterday. So we
Oh,
can actually
wonderful,
really
wonderful. Let's see.
specifically give, because I think Gemini is here taking slightly longer.
A
Is
little
it?
more time.
Yeah.
You've shared it in my personal
Yeah, in
account.
your personal account. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. That is amazing. Let's see the result that we got after giving this, and it was amazing. And
It's
it
very,
is based
yeah.
on real data. I mean, this is breakdown of the key insights. And what Gemini had told us was that Vanch and Pushkar performed well overall, and they have high marks across all the three types of questions. Kushal has the lowest scores in all the categories. Sakshi has a low score in knowledge, but her understanding and application scores are also low. So it's like we are having this kind of categories to understand what all are the kinds of students that we can see in the class, and where all are they lacking and where all they are, you know,
Yeah, and what
scoring high.
specific kind of support that you as a teacher could give each of these students. So thank you, Anshu ma'am, because I've often not thought of looking at analysis in this sense. So it's a beautiful idea, Anshu ma'am, that you've shared with us, and
So
the
what
fact that AI can actually support us in giving very specific help to our students rather than a generic say, "Oh, you can do better."
In
Do
fact,
better next time.
Gemini had told us that this class is very bright and they have high scores in higher order thinking and low scores in knowledge based questions. So I
Yeah,
think
so
the
Rattan
class
wale
needs to be
questions they don't
told
do too well.
that beta, before learning the application, first learn the basics also very well.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I think these were really powerful examples. Thank you, Saudamani ma'am, Amit sir, Anshu, for sharing your concerns and your questions and your problems with us, which I think really made it so much fun for Rupali and I to create this session for all of you. So this is like kind of a quick recap.
Yeah, ma'am, Rupali ma'am, what a wonderful session. Thank you so much. I could see the questions coming your way, the claps, the hearts, everything. I think it's been really helpful. Also, from exam perspective, analysis perspective, we have exams coming up now. A lot of schools must have started now, or maybe starting in a day or two.